I can't believe what I'm about to say, but we just got our first official look at Mark Ruffalo's Hulk on the set of Spider-Man! Brand new day. And I got something to say. Hulk fans, you might be disappointed, but Rage Hulk is here to stay. Plus, even more set photos and videos that reveal some other key characters and story details. And on top of that, we found out when we might be getting our first teaser for Brand New Day. And y'all know me, if I start seeing some dots in the sky, I'm gonna make them connect because I got a brain blast. What is theory, if not delusion persevering? But either way, me and you know what we gotta do. We gotta talk about it. And boom! You looking for this? So here we have our first official look at Mark Ruffalo playing Bruce Banner on the set of Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now I'm like Charles Xavier and I know exactly what you're thinking. Why is he in his human form? Well, don't worry, everybody Hakuna Matata, because notice he's wearing a big ass trench coat. I'm assuming he's got some of the dots on him, that motion capture suit, because don't forget we're getting the return of the angry Rage Hulk, you know, snarling green rage monster.
That's my secret, Cap. I'm always angry. I'm always horny.
But we also got other very interesting set photos that reveal like the aftermath of some type of big battle. Here you got news vans pulling up with what looks like the news and paparazzi either having an interview with this woman or taking photos of her. Still unsure who this could be. But this is the part where Hulk fans might be a little upset because the Hulk was taken away in an ambulance on the set of Spider-Man Brand New Day. They got Hulk-sized ambulances now? Nah, the DODC must got that new tech. But it was actually just Bruce Banner in his human form taken in an ambulance. Here's the video. Now, this could mean a couple of different things. This could either be the aftermath of a fight between Spider-Man and the Hulk, or the more likely option is the aftermath of this giant action set piece of Spider-Man fighting this tank and the Hulk has been with him the entire time. But let's stick with Spider-Man fighting Hulk for a second because it does bring up a couple of interesting aspects of this film that I hope they tackle. I mean, off rip, we already know the Hulk is demolishing Spider-Man. Anyone who thinks otherwise, even me as a Spider-Man meat glazer, is wrong. Because unless he's like Cosmic Spider-Man in this movie and punching Hulk up into fucking orbit, he really said, I'm gonna throw you up and leave you there. It's really just not a fair fight, and it's only a matter of time before the Hulk demolishes Spidey. I mean, in Peter Parker Spider-Man number 14, we saw an angry Spider-Man taking out his frustrations on the Hulk, and all he got was bloody knuckles as a result. The circumstances here are a little different. The Hulk was clearly holding back because he could empathize with the pain that Peter was suffering at the time. In this panel at the time, Mary Jane was presumed dead and he was kind of going through shit. I was just looking at everyone like pointing the finger like, I need justice some way, somehow. Hulk, you've killed so many people in the past. Fuck you. But I actually would really love to see a scene similar to this because it fits the thematic element that I think this film is going to be tackling. Peter's technically lost MJ in the MCU, but more on this in a second because I do really want to see a nice one-on-one fight between Spider-Man and Hulk in this movie. Maybe we get a scene of Hulk raging out on someone else and he's about to punch with all of his might and Peter stops it after the Hulk has already beat the dog shit out of Spider-Man. We get him holding his arm as he looks at Hulk the way Hulk looked at Tony in Age of Ultron. Angry, no jokes, not saying nothing. And that's when Peter stops holding back and actually gets some pretty good licks in on the Hulk. I mean, the fight probably plays out like this, all this for a drop of fucking clout, but at least showcase just how strong Spider-Man really is. I always love those moments in comics where people realize he's been holding back this entire time, like when Doc Ock took over his body in Superior Spider-Man and punched Scorpion's jaw off, or when symbiote Spider-Man beats the dog shit, slapping Kingpin, holding him up like he's a fucking child. But if Peter don't end up looking like this art from Jim Chung, I don't want to hear it. I need his suit to look like my dirty underwear by the end of this movie for real. But I think we're gonna get like a little mini fight between Spider-Man and Hulk before they ultimately team up. And by the way, it's still crazy. This is the first time we're gonna see them interact with each other on the big screen. They never have before in the MCU. We almost got it, but they teased us. Because mind you, this is Marvel Comics' real big three right here. And we got 2/3 of them in this movie. And I mean, spiritually, Punisher and Wolverine ain't too dissimilar. So it's crazy that we're really gonna get this type of dynamic on the big screen for the first time ever. And this leads me to what I think Bruce Banner and Hulk's role could be in this film, because I have a couple of theories. Now, obviously, I know a lot of y'all Hulk fans don't like the fucking IT help desk tech support Hulk. And again, for all intents and purposes, it looks like he's finally gonna be finito in this movie. But this brings me to one of our villains in the film, Scorpion. You know, we're finally getting the return of Michael Mando, and this time as Scorpion, the first time ever in live action. And you know, I'm still hoping and praying out there somewhere that J. Jonah Jameson funds the experiment that turns him into Scorpion, but I feel like they're not gonna do this, which is kind of a shame because I've always enjoyed the aspect of J. Jonah Jameson trying to create like his own Spider-Man vigilante and then having that shit blow up in his face. Every time I think Scorpion, I always think JJJ. But something tells me they're playing with the blueprint that your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man laid out for him, because what is his suit powered by in this show? Gamma. And who's your foremost leading expert on all things gamma related? Bruce Banner. These motherfucking dots are in the sky and I'm connecting them. Now, I've been saying for a while now, I feel like this is a slight adaptation of Revenge of the Sinister Six. It's basically Spider-Man and a bunch of other heroes against a bunch of Spider-Man's rogues. But my biggest theory is that damage control is going to be the key fixture in this film that, you know, gets all of these these dangerous weapons and technology out there for both heroes and villains alike. Because mind you, they've cast a huge shadow first being introduced in Homecoming, and they clearly got funding from supermax prisons. But like I said, they're also in possession of a lot of dangerous alien tech, super advanced tech, of weapons galore that they're just storing in various different storage facilities. Like we saw in Homecoming, we see that they were the ones that confiscated the Stark drones that Mysterio was using. But we also saw in Miss Marvel that the DODC has reverse engineered them to use them to their advantage. And again in She-Hulk, we see the DODC is using advanced technology weapons. I think that's going to be the plan for most of these villains. Break into DODC, gain that weapon, alien tech, and advanced technology, and use them for their own evil. Try to take the city for themselves. And I have a weird feeling that Damage Control is in possession of the sliver of the symbiote that we saw at the end of No Way Home. I feel like it would only make sense for them to be the ones that have a symbiote captive as opposed to like the police or some shit. And it's not like these symbiote rumors have come out of nowhere, because Michael Mando has teased not just the Scorpion but the symbiote a couple of different times on his Instagram story. So I have a weird feeling that Peter could potentially be getting his symbiote suit in this film. And maybe he gets the symbiote suit when he's fighting Hulk, like that scene I pictured out when he stops the punch and then looks at him angry. Maybe he is the one that fucking turns him back into Bruce Banner. That'd be cold. Woo! And maybe they are potentially leading up to a Matt Garkin version of Venom in the MCU. I mean, at that point, just give us symbiote Hulk and symbiote Punisher, YOLO. But with all of this dangerous tech and weapons out there, it would make a whole lot of sense for Peter to go to someone like Bruce Banner, who's probably in New York for whatever reason. I mean, last time we saw him, he was out on the West Coast at a cookout. But if these weapons and technology are powered by Gamma, like I said, it would make a whole lot of sense for him to be there to try to help out before he rages out. And I think Punisher is aware of what's happening with all of this dangerous technology, and that's why he's going to be at odds with Spider-Man at first, before they all ultimately team up at the end to stop the big threat. And if we get a shot like this in the movie, Destin Daniel Cretton, my life is yours. But don't forget, it's also being reported that Yelena Belova will appear in this film. This goes back to what I was talking about, the thematics of this film, and how each supporting character fits perfectly with where Peter Parker is in his life right now. He's alone, angry, frustrated, lost. Now quick, tell me, out of these 4 characters, who fits that description? The answer is yes. And I still have a gut feeling that it was because of the void making them see their most traumatic past selves that everyone's kind of on edge now. It would be a missed opportunity if they didn't touch on this subject of everyone getting sucked into the void. But we'll just have to wait and see. Now, I already made a video on this, but we did get set photos of Sadie Sink. I still think she's going to end up playing Carly Cooper with a twist revealing that she's someone else. You know, and of course, I've seen the combat boots and camo pants. Everyone thinks she's Rachel Cole Alves, but it just doesn't add up with me with John Bernthal's Punisher unless they do something drastically different. Plus, could y'all honestly see Sadie Sink in this type of role? Come on. You know what's funny is I thought she was going to be an amalgamation of a couple of different characters all the way back in, what is that, March? And then we got this report in August that said Sadie Sink was an amalgamation of 2 characters. Come on now, I know how the MCU thinks here. But apparently she's the one who uncovers a shady organization that forces her to seek Peter's help to survive. With the streets of New York City looking like this, yeah, she's gonna need all the help she can fucking get. I'm also not gonna rule out that she could potentially be Peter Parker's long-lost sister, Teresa Parker, because what better time than now for Peter to find out he has family? But they keep saying she's a love interest, so I don't know. Maybe they're on some Luke and Leia type shit. But the other thing that was confirmed thanks to new set photos that I cooked up is that yes, Liza Colon Zayas is playing some type of detective, and Peter is working with her. So they really are just giving us Insomniac Spider-Man PS4 in live action, except they're replacing Yuri with Liza Colon Zayas' character. Now, I will acknowledge that she might just end up being an original character who's a detective that works with Spidey, or she could just end up being Jean DeWolf. If they go with the ultimate Jean DeWolf route, where she ended up being a dirty cop working for the Kingpin, who ultimately ends up getting marked by the Punisher, would make a whole lot of sense and helping Peter being like, who the fuck can I actually trust? You know, if she is Jean DeWolf, I feel like she would be a little too old to be playing Jean DeWolf, because I've always loved the unspoken romance between Spidey and Jean DeWolf, because she always had a crush on him, but they never really delved into that. I was hoping Sadie Sink would be like a young version of Jean DeWolf, and she could be the new love interest, and we can get a Death of Jean DeWolf storyline instead of a Death of Gwen Stacy. I really would have loved that. She also could potentially be Terry Lee, who was an original character created for the 90s animated Spider-Man series. I always loved her interaction with Spider-Man, and she was actually in a romantic relationship with Blade, but I don't think this is the route they're gonna go. But we do know she's some type of detective. And on top of that, we learned that Tom Holland's Spider-Man is gonna have a massive role in Secret Wars. I wonder what it could be if he ends up getting the symbiote suit in this movie. Woo! But finally, it's being rumored that we could get our first teaser of Spider-Man Brand New Day during the release of Avatar Fire and Ash, which comes out December of this year. So only 2 more months before a teaser. Now, this is just a rumor, and they are saying that it could either be Doomsday or Brand New Day. And if it was Brand New Day, I feel like it would be a teaser similar to when they revealed the suit anyway. But regardless, when that Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer hits, I'm gonna have chills. Just shove all the Spider-Man Brand New Day news inside of me right now. Woo! But that's all the new news and updates we got about Spider-Man Brand New Day. My thoughts, theories, and opinions. Let me know what you think about all of this down in the comments below. And as always, like and follow for more.